So, firstly, it was back in 2019, specifically July the 19th. No, July the 20th. That is when I firstly started the Yun Jae-sung English. So, I had strong desire to have ability at least to at least to understand what Americans is telling me. I knew I don't understand, excuse me, what they're saying when they speak to me in front of me. So, but I had to, I had to kind of decide like to learn or practice English like for real. Because at that time I was I'm still here in America, but at that time I I just got America to leave, not just staying for a short period of time. So I need an English skill for actually speaking well and listening well. So I was searching through all the internet as well as YouTube, like staying up all night one day just searching for good English content, and I was so worried and concerned about because for the past like entire of my life, like studying English when I was in Korea and wherever I know myself, I practice any kinds of way that they were given, and it didn't really work out. That's the conclusion. So even though I say I study like so like you know focus like for 3 to 4 months or 4 to 5 months, like dictating the listening, like in order to get a good English score on certain English test. And after done with those training period, my English always go back to the starting point, which was like what the grammar is. Like I couldn't make up a like beautiful or perfect sentence, at least like the sentence that makes sense. So I found out through my painful experience of learning English, I found out that any method is not really working out. But like out of luck, like thankfully fortunately I found some presentation from by some of the presenter who look like Korean like me, and like as also speaking English in front of the audience. My first impression, like I thought, she's almost like a native speaker. But for some, like I found out, while she's introducing herself, she used to be like me. Like she wasn't born in the English-speaking country. She was born in the country that's not speaking English officially, like Korea. But her English kind of fluent, and I was so jealous. Like, I just wanted to be that person. That's my sentence. So like I so focused myself to that presentation and find out she like learned practice English from Yoon Jae-sung English. And then I started taking some short video from the principal of that Yoon Jae-sung English. His name is, of course, Yoon Jae-sung. And he like let me wear my coat real quick because I'm so cold right now. And I was listening to one of the practice recording that Principal Yoon Jae-sung made, and I kept listening over and over, but I couldn't understand what they're talking about. And and then I almost at that night I stayed up almost around 1:30 a.m. And the other day I determined to I was indecisive whether I have to enroll the Yoon Jae-sung English or not. But like at that time, I was injured in my right wrist, and when I poop, like like you have to wipe down your ass. But because I broke my right wrist, I wasn't able to myself to wipe down my poop. Yes. So I was you know feeling I felt kind of like imperfect man. Like I know I had I have a skill to wipe down my ass. It sounds funny. Anyway, but I couldn't even put on my pants after I'm done with pooping. So anyway, my right wrist totally not functioning. And the the day after that day, the day before that day, one of his lecture, like one of Yoon Jae Sung English's lecture, the principal Yoon Jae Sung mentioned, um, if you don't, if you cannot listen what like native speakers saying, you're almost like like disabled person, deaf. But it does apply to Korean people. Like Korean people, even though they're exposed to, what American people saying, we hear we hear what they're saying, but we really don't listen. We really don't understand what they're saying because some kind of different way of like talking when they're mother tongue language. So let's say in Korea, for Korean, yeah, I'm going to bring the name of a place in Korea. It's called Gunsan. So for typical Korean, no, like just for Korean, when they're saying Gunsan, they say, like I just said, Gunsan. But for English speaking person, let's say American, they say Kunsan. Can you guys see the difference? I'm gonna repeat one more time. For Korean people, they say Kunsan. For English speaking person they say Kunsan. So because of this basic like fundamental difference of way of speaking, like spit it out the sound, Korean have so many difficulty in understanding what English speaking person says. So that is what Principal Yoon Jae Sung like main point, all about main point for his lecture. So I, to myself, I thought myself so focused on his lecture at that time. And like back into my pooping example, so I thought myself, without proper functioning of my right wrist, it's similar to me, which I don't have proper ability to listen to English. So that's the moment I determined to enroll in Jesung English. Yeah, so like to myself, hey, let's do one final English course for the rest of my entire life. I was at that time 36 years old. So right now in 2023, so it has 4 years passed. So 4 years, I'm 40 years old. Yeah, that's how I got to know the existence of Yoon Jae-sung English, and how I started to kind of practice English from Yoon Jae-sung English, and how I decided to English one last time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.